Hey everyone, this is Vishak here, and welcome to this video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about environment. Now, this is huge. So, why is time management? Why is environment so important in time management? Nobody really talks about it, and I'm going to be taking you into some deep, deep concepts that probably no one has ever spoke about it. That's the level of research and had that's the level of research that I have done in these courses. So it's tapping into the tiny little details, all of the tiny little details, and just getting squeezing the maximum juice out of every single minute, like every single second that you spend. So by this, what exactly we are trying to establish? So I have a theory, and the theory is like if you are working, if you are producing something, you will get the money. That's it. So not, yes, we can all sit and say that okay, all work is not for the money, and not everybody wants money and this and that, but you need money, everybody needs money. Okay, so if you're producing, if you're working, then obviously you need to get paid. So the quality of the work, it is really important, and the work is the work action, whatever you want to call it, right? That's the only thing that's going to move the needle of your life. So we spoke about this in the last video. We just touched upon this on the last video, and in this I just want to keep this video very short, but I really want you to take care of this environment thing. Like I do not want you to take it lightly. I want you to really take it to your heart and start making those changes right away. And it's not like a one time, it's not like a one-off thing that you do this once in a while. Because what I believe is, like, if you are pretty much serious about your business or your career or your work or whatever, if you're serious about it, then you're going to eventually get the growth. And if you're not really serious, then obviously these things are not for you. So I believe that you are serious, and I want you to be serious, because well, that's the only way to move forward in life, right? Work, without work, what's the whole point? So I would be helping you as to how you can get the most, like, high quality work in the amount of time that you spend, and how can you completely immerse yourself into that time, and how you can design your environment in such a way. Okay, so I'm going to get into the nitty gritty details of it. So let's get started. So what I want you to do is, before even we could start off with things, yesterday we just touched upon the distractions. I want you to note down all distractions. Now, this is probably going to take about a week. Like, when you, every time when you get to work, when you sit for working, when you want to do any task, when you try to accomplish any of the task, you will get distractions. You will get, like, this, that, whatever. I have my own set of things that I'm going to give you, but i mean before that, I want you to note down all the distractions that is actually taking you away from your time and your focus. Okay, there are a lot of things, so I wouldn't know that. So I want you to at least pay good attention to your distractions, for at least for the first couple of days, like 3-4 days. Okay, and then you have a set of that. Okay, and after that, whatever the things that I'm giving you in the video, and following this video, the rest of the videos are more into do with the tactics. Okay, so those are like tactics, mind tricks that you can use. Those are the next ones, but these are like the fundamentals. Okay, so first step is, I want you to note down all the distractions, and that's how I want you to proceed. So yes, let's go. That's your first step. If you haven't really noted this down, like, I want you to note it down. Like, note down the distractions that you need to don't note down. Okay, right now, like, I want you to note down, as in, like, the reminder. I want you to put a reminder for you to note down all the distractions. Too much of note downs in that. Anyway, let's go. So if I say, well, there is one more thing that's missing. It's actually mind. Anyway, let's get into it. So if I say like food, environment, and one thing that's missing, that's mind. Food, environment, and mind, that is helping you not to achieve the goal. Okay, that's helping you not to achieve the goal. Well, now you can ask, like, why is food, like, what does food got to do with goal anyways? Like, how is this related? So I am a biohacker. Okay, some of you know it, some of you don't know it. I'm a biohacker, meaning I don't necessarily inject all the foreign objects into my body, but I can change my biology to change to achieve my goal faster. All tiny, like small things. I mean, I have given some of it, probably most of it, in the Forge 101, in the biohack section. But your food and your environment, and of course your mind, plays a big role. And the things that I'm telling you, it would sometimes, it would just look weird. I mean, it might sound weird, and some it'll be like, it's pretty obvious and you know it, but you're not really doing it. Okay, so if I say the food is not really helping you, achieve your goal, or environment is not really helping you achieve your goal, or the mind is not really achieving your goal, your mind, probably you will know it, because I mean, it is what it is. But the environment and food, the amount of contribution that these two factors has to play when it comes to achieving your goal is huge. And you can see it, like you can see it, people, everybody has a wish, like they want to be successful in their own thing, but they're not willing to do the work. Why? Because it's the biochemistry, that's the food, and because of the environment, habits. These things keep pulling people down, like all the time. When you're trying to go somewhere, when you're trying to do things, when you're trying to be somebody, be an high achiever, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, boom, you're coming back again. So let's see what the food has to say. I mean, what are the ways or angles that food is attacking you? Okay, so this is a little beautiful graph that I drew. And see, these are the levels. Okay, and this is the time. So can you see the star graph? That's the star graph, that's the space graph. I don't know, that's the color, the purple one. That's dopamine. Okay, so dopamine is a pleasure, it's not exactly a pleasure hormone, but it's a pleasure seeking hormone. So dopamine always raises up when you are going towards that pleasure. You see food, you are anticipating the food, you're getting ready for sex, you are going to buy a car, you are planning for a wedding, you're booking um, for a vacation. All of these things, every time when you do this particular task, you get a natural high. You feel so good about it. You feel so good when you're planning for the wedding. You feel so good when you're hosting a house party. Hosting, it's not, the pleasure is not really in the wedding. I mean, it is, but most pleasure, it's caused while planning. You are like, yes, when you're looking for sex, it's not looking for sex, sorry. The sex is actually happening, it's the act. But just before that, thinking about it, contemplating it, imagination, that raises your dopamine. Same thing with smokers, people who, when they are going to smoke, it's not the actual event, the smoking is not the actual event where they find the pleasure. It's thinking about it and going towards that, approaching that, taking the cigarette from the box, lighting that shit up. That's where the dopamine is. Okay, thinking about the food, like you're thinking about the food, okay, it's time for me to eat the food, that tiny little thing, that tiny little moment, that's where the dopamine hits. And like having a Coca-Cola, like if you take a sip, the first sip, buying it, holding it, opening the bottle, and taking the first sip, and that's it. That's it. After that, the dopamine comes down. So this is dopamine, and the red is insulin. Insulin is a hormone. Okay, insulin, this hormone is responsible to take the nutrients from the blood and push it to the body, like from the food, and push it to the body. Okay, so uh, insulin is very important. But the thing is, as you can agree, Indian food is tempting. Okay, which is why we overeat. We just don't eat, but we overeat. Why? Because we don't just cook, we overcook and we complicate. Like really, it's a complicated process. It's not like you add up a little bit of this and then there is food. It's not like that. Okay, you got to cook. You got to really spend some time to cook, and it makes it like really delicious. And we are heavy on the carbohydrates, which is like the causing the sugar, and that causes insulin. Now the thing is over here, this can you see this decline? This decline right here on this red line is where you are um you're going down in your insulin. Okay, that is like in the from your previous meal. Now it's coming down. The sugar levels are coming down over here. Now here is where, although you don't feel hungry, you feel like eating something. You feel like eating the food. Oh, it's time for me to eat the food. Okay, and then you eat. So when you eat, when you are eating from here, it picks up. When you eat, the first bite, second bite, third bite, 45th bite, boom, picks up right here. By the time you finish your meal, it's over here. So with from the time that you finish your meal, and let's say another 30 minutes to 1 hour, that's 60 minutes max, there's a drop. So if you eat unhealthy food, you might feel uncomfortable. If you eat full, you might feel uncomfortable. I mean, you will feel uncomfortable. If you eat so much, like you're going to feel uncomfortable, and you're not just uncomfortable, but you're also going to feel tired. And that's why, in the morning, especially after your food, or after in the afternoon, after your food, you feel like taking a nap. You feel like let me sit down for a minute. Right? So how is this even related to the time management? It's a very good question. Vishak, can we just get into time management? Why are you teaching me science? So the thing is, if you are about to start a task at 2 o'clock and you want to go kill the task, okay? It's a pretty complicated task in your business or in your career, in your work, something. You've got to finish that. So when you want to finish that, when you've got to finish that, you got to finish that. And then you go, okay, let's say I want to go have my lunch and then come back, and then I want to start. And then you go start. By the time you start, within the first 30 minutes to 45 minutes to even 60 minutes, boom, there is a sugar crash. The dopamine comes over here, dopamine comes down over here, and insulin after, like, boom, it just comes down, like drops. You feel heavy. Either you don't feel like doing the task, or you'll say, I'll do it tomorrow. Or even if you're doing it, the quality of this particular task is not really good because your biochemistry is all messed up. It's all over the place. You feel tired. You feel like taking a nap, a power nap, or I don't know, like you just don't feel like sitting for more than like 60 minutes. You can't sit in a computer for like 60 minutes. So where are you even producing the deep work? Well, you're not, right? And that's where the whole food is coming into play, right? So now you got the point. So should you starve? What should you do before you go to finish tasks, right? Don't worry, I've got you covered. So this is something that I really want you to understand, because let's say even if you're a corporate, even if you are in a corporate, if you're a working professional, okay, and now let's say that you are aspiring for the promotion over there, and pretty much everybody knows it, or maybe they don't know it, doesn't matter. So if you know that you want to get that position, now the obvious question is, what are you going to do about it? You cannot just show up for the interview and just say, what, I need that position, right? So first of all, you need to understand their pain points, and you need to at least give some ideas to solve that problem, right? So when you want to think about that team, when you want to understand the pain points about that team, when all of these things are going on, you need to, first of all, you need to have a good mental clarity. Second one is a relationship. That's a total different subject. But over here, let's stick with this one. 1 year from now, you want a promotion from the you want a promotion in the second team, like that neighbor team. I'm just giving you an example. So you already have your work to do, and you're working already for like 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever. So is that enough to get a promotion? No, you can't. So you got to do a little extra mile somewhere or something that can help the other team. So if you can get that level of recognition, then obviously it's a no-brainer. They will give you the position. So when you are having that this thing, the plan, and when you want to work towards it, let's say that this is the time that you're having your food on an everyday basis, and then you set your goal that, you know what, from 2 to 3 o'clock, I'm going to work on the problem that the other team is facing. This is just a hypothesis. It might be applicable for you, it might not be applicable for you, but you get the point. I hope you get the point. So from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, you wanted to work on it. But you know what? Your goal is a desire that you want a promotion in that team. But the thing is, it is not letting you go there. It's not letting you do that regular thing because you're feeling that sugar crash over here. You know what? One day, if you just say, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. This is a voice. And 3 days, 4 days in a row, what happens to this voice? This voice gets up and louder. It becomes your habit. And that one day, before even you could realize, the year has passed by and you haven't done jack. Okay. So you see how powerful this is, right? So you really have to be mindful and watchful about what task are you going to do, when are you going to do, and like what is the quality of it. Okay. It's very important. And what you do before that, extremely crucial. That's why this whole energy management is like, it's like I cannot stress that enough. Okay. So now you understood the power. Like, so if you're not gonna eat this, what do I eat? Right? That's a good question. I gotta eat. Like I gotta eat something. So when it comes to food, these are the things that you should eat. Okay. Well, I was just kidding. These are the things that you should avoid. So number one is gluten. If you really want to be productive, avoid gluten. Take this gluten away from your life. You will thank yourself. Your system will thank yourself. I mean, your system will thank you. Your digestive system. What is gluten? Gluten is the binding agent that you can find in flour, processed flour, right? Processed flour, and also the normal wheat, even in the wheat. So that's a powder, and when you make the dough out of the powder for roti, chapati, etc., you know, the thing that actually makes it stick together, that's gluten. That's the binding agent. So some of them are gluten tolerant, some of them are gluten intolerant. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, gluten and this particular thing called wheat, it's got so much of fiber in it. It's good for people who are with diabetes, like type 2, type 1 diabetes. That's okay. But um if you are planning to get into deep work, and if you want to be like you, imagine this. When you go into a deep work, when you want to accomplish a task, I want you to consider that as a war. Once you finish the task, you win. If you don't finish the task, the war wins. I mean, the opponent wins, the devil wins. We spoke with the devil yesterday, right? So even a little bit of in uncomfortable situation, like somewhere something can just throw you off the hook, which you don't want it. Okay. So gluten, just stay away. You know what that is, right? Wheat, just stay away. Processed flour, stay away. High sugary fruit and drinks, well, you know this. And the reason why I'm saying this, like high sugary food, drinks, the processed food, fast food, all of that. Okay. Like burgers and pizza and biryani and anything like with so much of rice and so much of oil and so much of masalas and so much of flavor and seasoning and this and that. You just gotta just like stay away from that. Okay. You don't need it. The cookies, biscuits, I mean, these are like not only for deep work. You just want to stay away from this. Like this crap is like, it's just pure shit. Like you don't want that. Okay. Dairy, well, I would still say, well, I'm not saying that you are, but you could be the like dairy. Sometimes you will be able to take it, and sometimes your body will not be able to take it. Well, so it's not really the dairy. I mean, any of the dairy products will contain something called as lactose. So lactose is nothing but the carbohydrates. So although it looks in a minimum quantity or minimum level, but then the impact that's going to have on your system is like pretty huge. So some people will not be able to take milk, right? I mean, I can take milk. Like if I'm taking it consistently, it's cool for me. But if I just leave a gap for, let's say, a week, and then if I'm taking the milk meaning like the coffee or like anything, then I find it like so uncomfortable in my system. Like my system will be like, Jesus, why did you even do that? Right? I get this, like, I get this feeling. So dairy is just, I want you to pay good attention how you feel like after consuming it. Anything, be it ice cream, be it anything dairy. Okay. Like cheese should not be a problem. Like you can go for cheese over here, but like I don't want to get into it, but you get the point. Okay. White rice and potatoes, you got to keep it really minimal. You don't want to spike the insulin over here. This is insulin. This, the reason of why I put this over here, this is insulin. This is lactose. This is insulin. This is insulin. This is, well, gluten. This is insulin. No excess fruits. You can have fruit, but not excess fruits, like not a big bowl of fruits and or probably eating fruits all day long. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay. Processed food like fast food, junk food, all of that, just stay away. Caffeine, you can have one coffee, again without the sugar, of course. I mean, black I'm talking about, but you don't want to go more because too much of caffeine will give you anxiety. You don't want that. Okay. And if you don't really want the caffeine and you can actually, get into that focus, you can. But I'll be talking about that in some time, like how can you optimize your mind. Right now we're just talking about the food. Okay. So most of it, what I have mentioned over here, it's predominantly for this particular reason. That's the sugar crash. So once the insulin drops, you're getting the sugar crash. You feel so tired because your body is like, it needs a lot of energy to burn the food in your system. That's why you need to avoid this, this, definitely this. Yeah. So gluten is different from this. Um, Dairy, it's because of lactose, and caffeine, it's because of, well, it's caffeine. Okay. It's the coffee. So just check this out. You might want to see how you are okay with it. If you're okay with it, then go ahead. But don't overdo this. Don't overdo this. At least give 1 month of gap on consistently taking the caffeine. It's okay. But after 3 months, give 1 month of gap so that you don't build up the tolerance, and you need like more and more like caffeine. I was at a point where my body was breaking down. I had about 8 to 10 cups of coffee every day for my focus. So you don't want to get into that position. It's very, very bad. Okay. So minimize water. Why minimize water? This one is, I'm very specific over here. Just before you get into that particular task, you've got a big task over here to do it. And if you take a lot of water, now you want to pee. So I don't know, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then you get up to pee, and then boom, that the flow is gone. You don't want to break the flow, and that's why. Okay. Minimize water only during that particular task, just before the task. All right. So that's with the food. That's with the food. So what are the things that you need to avoid. Okay. Apart from this, pretty much you can go for a smoothie. You can go for I don't know, like some dry fruits, eggs, some chicken. Just eat and just sit, and then boom, you are into it. Like you just don't know the time and the world exists. Like you are into it. Okay. So right now, if you ask me, I'm in the flow state. So I was supposed to do something, and something just happened. It was a disaster. So I cannot let that mess with my energy. Like if I'm going to do that, then I would not be able to perform this task. So um it happened. Like it's already happened. It's gone. So I still have to maintain my energy. So all I did was, it's okay. And I came back over here, and for the last I think 1.5 years, I'm right in my computer. I didn't get up, I didn't turn, I didn't drink my coffee, I didn't do like nothing. My only I don't know, like the only movement that I made like physically was just pull up the mic right in front of my mouth, and that's it. Like there's no other. You see what I'm saying? So right now I'm in that state. Like I'm in the flow state. Like my brain is exploding with ideas, and I'm all about pleasure right now. Like I'm all like, there's so much of how do I say? Like there's so much of, I'm experiencing so much of pleasure. Okay. So I want you to get into this state. Then you will get into the flow state. I'm not talking about going with the flow. That's a shitty move. You don't want that. Okay. People say, how are you doing? Like going with the flow. No, 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 no. Not that flow. This is the flow state. I'll talk about that in some time. Okay. So now we've got a pretty good idea about the food, like what you've got to eat just before you get to do the task or finish the task. Okay. Now we're getting into the second one, which is the environment. So how is environment so important for you to get your task or accomplishment, like accomplish your task, right? So it doesn't really matter whatever the task is. The complications or the severity of the task will be higher if the output or the value is also higher of the task. Okay. So your brain will tend to look for, when I say distractions, not necessarily it has to be a distraction. It is still your work. But the thing is, it's not as heavy, or it doesn't have like a positive, like such a high positive impact as a complicated task. You will still have a complicated task. Then you will say, you know what, first let's do this and then we'll do the other one later. Like the complicated task, we'll do that later. Why? Because it draws more energy from you mentally and physically. So you should not let that happen. You should not let your mind trick you into doing some small task. Okay. So how does your environment play? Like what role does it have when it comes to time management or accomplishing the task? Over here, we are just talking about like completing the task, like task management. It's not the time management. Okay. So first one, like this should be like, this has got to be like your, how do I say it? Like a default state. So you have, let's say that you have promised yourself to do that particular task at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. All right. So Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, it's not where you get to work. So you already have that thing in your mind. That means you've got to start preparing for the previous night itself. Like you need to have that. And I'm going to tell you one by one. So first off, you got to put notifications off. This is not for your task, but this is for your entire life. I'm telling you because this is huge when it comes to your mental energy, like your mental health. You got to put your notifications off, because every time there is a notification, you are going to that notification. You're paying attention to the notification. Every time when you're paying attention to the notification, you are spiking your dopamine. What is dopamine? Right here. It's pleasure hormone. Okay. So you don't want that. So my phone, it's like notification is like off. I don't even get the notification for my calls. Like I just don't. Like I don't care what it is, unknown number, I don't pick up. And I don't know. My girlfriend was like, she felt a little weird when, I mean, she knew it, but I mean, she knows it, but she was like, when I told her like not more than 10 to 15 people have my number and that's it. Like 15 people have my number and that's it. Okay. So like no calls, no, I don't have any social media apps on my phone. Like there's no notification for each and everything that's happening. Like nothing at all. I'm free from my phone. I don't have it shackled. And no calls. This is huge. This is huge because I'm going to go a little deeper on this when it comes to the mind. That's the next section. But your calls, you're not just you're not just attending the call. Your attention and your energy, your thinking, everything goes towards this direction. That means it's really, I mean, it's literally getting out of the task that you're focused on. Okay. So 10 o'clock, you are with the task, you're going on. 10:45, you get a call. Not much, just hello. And did you do that? Did you do this? Did you eat? Like, I don't know, whatever. Okay. That's it. Like 30 seconds. And then you're going to place your phone down. You're going to get back. But I'll tell you what, it takes a very, very long time for you to get back to exactly where you left off. Well, you can get back to wherever you left off in a minute, but for your mind to process in that particular state, which is the alpha state, that's going to take some time. Okay. That's why I'm saying that you don't want to mess with your vibe. At that point, you are in a flow state. So right now, if I'm just over here, right now I'm talking to you, and if I'm just getting a call, first of all, I don't know where my phone is. Okay. So just in case if I notice the call and I'm like picking it up and I'm just talking and then I'm just putting the phone down. it would take about, let's say, 20 seconds. I'm just saying, okay? Just 20 seconds. Not a big deal, right? So if I'm just going to put the phone down and get back to it. But the state that I am in right now with you, I'm talking to you right now, these words are flowing out of my mind, right? These things, this particular state, it's going to take at least 15 to 20 minutes to get into the alpha state. Right now, I'm in alpha state. So I don't feel no pain. Although my body hurts a little bit because I've been sitting for a while, but I don't feel no pain. I finished my workout. I had a kick-ass workout. I came back and I'm here, and that's it. For the last 2 hours, I just didn't get up. Like I'm right here. But the thing is that one phone call, if I'm just taking away my attention from this, and then if I'm just gonna get back, it's gonna take at least 15 to 20 minutes for me to get into this state. Okay, so it's not just about 20 seconds, but the damage after that. That's called as a flow state. You don't want to mess with your concentration. Okay, so that's the full focus. And next comes social media. I don't even have to say because, like it. Okay, but still I would say it. On a call, it was just 20 seconds. Let's bring that 20 seconds down to, let's say, 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds. 2 seconds of call. Well, not 2 seconds of call, but 2 seconds of post. A post. Scroll down, another 2 seconds. Scroll down, another 2 seconds. Scroll down, another 2 seconds. You're jumping from one after the other. What happens? Your attention span goes down. That's for sure. You won't be able to sit and perform a task for like 90 minutes, 120 minutes, and 180 minutes and all that. You can't do it. You won't be able to do it. You can't sit for a meditation. You are going to grow your monkey mind. You want to keep jumping from one after the other. And those are the repercussions of it. Okay. So you don't want this. Like, you got to completely stay away from this. This is like a big no-no. Okay. Next comes your ergonomics. So if you're working in a corporate, then please take care of your ergonomics. I'm sure they give you the best of the best things to get there. The size of your desk. I mean, the table, the size as in like the level of your table, it has to be to a certain extent where you're absolutely comfortable. Not too tall, not too low, not too, like it should not be like that. And your chair, well, if you're at home, if you have a home office, if you're running a business, then chair is like, invest in some good chair. Don't sit on a stool and mess with your back. You invest at least, like, I don't know, it could cost you some money, 20, 30,000, but doesn't matter. It's a best investment that you can make. Okay. So chair, it's good for your spine as well. And the thing is, the chair, if you're going to sit on a normal chair or a stool, and think like, if you're not going to move for the next 3 hours, imagine what that could happen, what that could do to your, to your back and to your neck. It's pretty bad. So you don't want that. Okay. But at the same time, you also don't want to compromise the quality of the task that you're doing, compromise on the work that you're doing. So chair is big. Clean table, keep it clean. When I used to work in the corporate, I've seen people drink their coffee, and then more coffee, and then more coffee. And by the time they finish their shift, they have like 5 or 6 cups, like decaying on their desk. It just gives such a bad vibe. Like, you don't want, you want to keep it minimal, like bare minimum. You got your computer, you got your laptop, you got your mouse, and you've got a to-do list, and that's it. Like, you got a water bottle. If you want your water bottle, good. If you don't want it, no problem. Okay. So if you're at home, just invest in good ergonomics. You want to have a laptop stand. If you're having a computer, then make sure that your computers are the level of your eye level, like the level of your eyes. But that's the point. Okay. Now, next, the plug, the switcher, the charger. Switches I have mentioned twice, but so these things should not be like, okay, you know what, my laptop charger is draining and I want to go turn on the switch and I gotta come back. No. That should not be the case. You should not even just move. Okay. It should be within the reach of your hands. It should be well within the reach of hands. You should not even lean to put on the plug. I know this is a little bit of task, but I want you to set up your work environment so flawless, like you would love. It's like, it's just paradise. You just got to go in there and you just got to immerse in the, oh my God, this is so good, right? That's the feeling that you should get. Like if it is stinking, if you have clothes lying around, and if you have all of that kind of junkyard, trust me, you will not have that feeling to go. And because everything says something, every little detail says something about you. And if you just look around your place, if it is all messed up, that says a lot about what kind of a person you are. It says a lot about your mind. Okay, you got to keep it clean, you got to keep it minimal. In fact, we don't even need so much stuff to live. We're just being mere consumers, just buy and buy and buy and buy, and then do what? Right? So you don't want that. And all of this should be within your reach. You should not even, you know, like, you can turn your chair, but not like take steps. You should not get up from your chair, and you should not go there, and you know what I'm saying? Like that. And then if your environment, meaning if you're at your workplace, if there are a lot of people who are making a bunch of noise, which you will come across, buy an earplug. Okay. This is like two indications. First thing is like, see, I'll tell you what, the messed up thing about working in a crowded environment, not a crowded environment, at a workplace, is you cannot do the deep work. It's pretty hard. People will come, share some things with you. They want to have a small talk. They want to, call you for a meeting, get you up for the huddle, this, so much shit, like so much of counterproductive things. Okay. So buy an earplug. You get a sponge one. I think it costs about $30 or $40. Buy it and put it in your ears. That's a clear indication that, hey, I'm working. All right. So people they don't want to come and talk to you. Like they wouldn't come and talk to you. And the next thing is, when you plug this, it's like, people, I mean, I've seen this. People love to talk. I mean, people love to listen what people are talking. Like, you just love to talk, hear about what people are talking, who is talking about who's gossiping about who. I'll tell you, these are cheap dopamine hits. It'll give you cheap pleasure talking about others, gossiping about people and all, right? It's such a cheap pleasure. And when you're listening to people talking about somebody else to somebody else, these things are not only messing with your ears, but it's also messing with your energy. It can completely change the way you think, change your energy. Sometimes even it can drain you, which you don't want it. And if you're at home, still sometimes there's a whole lot of noise, dogs, babies, kitchen, you know, you don't want that. If you don't, like, you want to, the idea is to get into deep work. And for that, you need to just plug out all the distractions, everything. Okay. So buy a good one or two earplugs. This will cut down at least 70 to 80% of the noise, like external noise. Okay. So remember, I haven't put the music over here, right? So that's the whole thing. I mean, like I'm big on music, but again, it depends on the task that I do. And if it doesn't really require the mental energy, then you can go for the music, but don't pay too much of attention to that. I would say something for focus, without any beats, without any lyrics, without any tunes, without any, just some focus music, some meditation music. Just go into, but don't sleep. Okay. Then comes the light, the bright light. Keep it as bright as possible. Um, if you're like especially if you're working in the morning, like I start my day at 4, so 4 to 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm with my meditation. By 5 o'clock, I'm hitting my desk, and I need that bright light. And I have my laptop, which is like exactly above my, not above, but to the level of my eye. And I wanted to do that too, because especially when you're working on the morning, what happens is you tend to sleep if the screen is a little lower, and if there is no sun. So you want to keep your screen above, like either to your eye level or above the eye level, and then have like really bright lights, not halogen, but okay. Then sometimes when you're working, yes, your hands will pull you into, opening the Chrome. I just want to I just want to see what's the status. I just want to see if there are any emails. I just want to see if I have, I just want to see like this one thing. Forget about it. You're gone. Like the moment you think about it, the focus is gone. Even if you just think about it, the focus is gone. So imagine you do that. Now you do that, and you do that after like 30 minutes, you'll be like, you'll be watching a cat video, like playing with a baby. Like, what the hell? Right? It's just gone. Like the focus is completely taken away. The time is just gone, which you're never going to get it back. All right. And one thing that I want you to do on the previous day itself, if you have a burning issue, all right, and if you know that that's a burning issue, I want you to buy a small notepad and write down all the tasks. Now you are noting down all the distractions anyways, right? So buy a small notepad, and the small notepad, I'll tell you, it's literally changed my life. I just keep it right in front of me, like right in front of me. And every time when I'm coming and sitting, when I'm just getting up, when I'm working, every time, whatever is happening, this thing, it's just right in front of me, just giving me this vibe, like, when are you going to eat me? When are you going to finish me? When are you going to finish me? That vibe, like it's pending. That is nagging. That scenarios, you want to finish that. You want to finish. So every time when this programs in your mind, what happens? Obviously, you know what? I'm done with you. Like, I want to take this. I want to, squeeze it, and I'm done with you. Like, I want to finish this task. Okay. So you finish the task and you score that out. That means you score. Like you score. And that's such a wonderful thing for you to have that score. Okay. So one after the other, you keep scoring and scoring and scoring. So this is very important. You need to have this task like nagging in front of you. You need that. One thing that I didn't mention over here is the DND. This is applicable only if you're working like in a corporate, or if you're working environment, like in your workplace. There are a lot of people. So when you put on your earplug, that's a clear sign that, don't talk to me. I'm busy, right? When you have this, also have a DND. It's not rude. It's just you're prioritizing work, and there's nothing wrong with that. All you got to do is just put a DND, and just paste it right there. I mean, just put it right there on a wooden, or I don't know, whatever. Just make sure, the name tag in front of all the managers and directors. They'll have a name tag, right? Like that. So just DND. Please don't interrupt me. I want to finish my task, and then I can go on a vacation with you. But right now, I got to get my stuff done. Cool. So that's with the environment. And now we are going to the most important thing, and the last thing. It's the mind. So how important is the mind, and how this is going to impact you, right? I mean, it's a pretty big thing, and you probably know this, but I want to get into it. So your mind will play tricks on you. Your mind will, every time when you want to do the important thing, every time when you want to do the complicated or a hard thing, the hard thing or the complicated thing requires more energy. And your brain knows it very, very well. And your brain also knows that energy is finite. Well, you know that like you're living in the land of food, like anywhere you turn around, there is food. But your mind is still in the olden days. Like it's still thinking the food is always scarce. So I have to save my energy. So I'll trick this guy or girl into doing some low energy activity, and let me save more energy. That's why people don't like to work out. Why do you need motivation for you to work out? Why? Because it's high energy activity. But when you get into the momentum, you are placing your focus on the after effects of it. So you place your focus on, I'm feeling happy after my workout. I'm also getting the results, so I feel good about that. So you're using that for positivity. So don't fall for the tricks that your brain pulls on you. Okay. Your mind is the master and your body is the slave. Don't make it the other way. Just don't make it the other way. Don't make your mind a slave and the body a master. That's what 98% of the people, that's exactly what they do. Like
That's exactly what they do, and you don't want that. Okay. Your mind also finds a way to distract. Remember, we spoke about on the previous video either natural distraction, what naturally comes in your life. You get calls, you get emergency, you get travel, you get this, you get holiday, you get that. Like these are natural, eventual process, not eventual, but natural process, just natural distractions that comes in your way. And another ones are manufactured. I just want to check my email. I just want to see what's the status of that. I just want to see if this girl messaged me. You know what I'm saying? Like manufactured. I just want to see. I just want to check my email. I just want to see like 2 minutes, and that's it. That's it. 2 minutes, and I'm going to come back. No, it's a distraction. It's taking away from your main task. Okay. And waiting for the D hit. So when there is a notification, let's say there is a notification on your Twitter, not on Twitter, let's say Instagram. Okay. So there is a notification, there's a red thing. What do? The moment you see the red thing, right? D hit is dopamine hit. Yesterday we spoke about E hit. That's an endorphin hit. That's a good high. This is a bad high. So the moment you see a red button, the notification, you go there. The moment you see it, the dopamine goes up. The dopamine goes up, and then you click on it, your dopamine peaks. When you hit on that notification button, your dopamine peaks. And then you see the message, or you see the photo, you see the video, you see the whatever, right? While that is going through, the dopamine is dropping. And then you start reacting. So based on that message, your brain will give you an appropriate and respective hormone. If it's a stress message, then it will give you the stress hormone. That's a cortisol. If it is a happy message, then it will make you laugh. So it is a happy hormone, serotonin, or you get the point, right? So your mind is constantly looking for the dopamine hit. Like you don't want it. It's a cheap hit. This is a cheap hit. You don't want this. So these are things you don't want it. So how can you optimize your mind for you to get into the flow state? How can you do this? So this is coming after a thorough and a long research and implementation. Okay. So how can you optimize it? So first off, before you get into a task, so I'm sure you must have done by now. Like let's say that it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting into work, and this is going to take about 3 hours to 4 hours to get done. Okay, you know that very well. Now, in this 3 to 4 hours, you're not getting up from your chair. You're not doing anything. You're not like nothing. You are lost. You're gone. You're gone. You're out. So before that, you must have done with your environment these things. It's a checklist. It's a huge checklist. You got to get that done. There's a huge checklist. You should not get this done. You know what I mean? You should not get this done, and you should get these done. That's it. Like, that's it. Okay. Now it's time. It's 9:55, and you're going to get into work. So just before you get to work, either you get a workout done. Okay. 1 hour, 45 minutes of work is good. Like workout is good. Or it's not and, okay? Either good amount of workout, like I'm talking about high intensity workout, or you can go for the rapid breathing. Now, this is a pretty good one. Now, if you're at work, let's say that if you're at work, you can't really just go get your workout done whenever you want it. So at that point, you might look a little weird, so you don't want to do it in front of people. So go to the restroom or go somewhere private and do the rapid breathing, like through your nose, right? Only through your nose. So you don't want to suck up a lot of carbon dioxide. So do it through the nose, 200 to 300 times of rapid breathing. I'm talking about. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same rhythm. You can change your rhythm up and down, long and deep, shallow, but try the variations. Try counting. Sometimes you feel a little stressed after 100, but don't stop. You got to keep going. Probably even you can close your eyes and keep doing it. Once you hit a mark of 300, 400, 500 or whatever, and then just stop, and then just get to work. When you do this, there's so much of oxygen in your mind, like so much of oxygen in your brain, that like your focus, your attention, your creative juices will start flowing like that. Okay. So either a workout and a high intensity workout or the rapid breathing, and just see how it is. So when I'm saying this is a chunk of a task, one chunk of a big task that you want to do it. So one task, or if it's a huge task, then break it down. Break it down, not more than 3 hours or 4 hours. Beyond 4 hours, it's not advisable to sit like without moving. You don't want that. Okay. So one task. So for this one task, you're going to slay this task. You're going to finish off this task, right? For that, just before that, either you work out or rapid breathing, and then you get into the task. Okay. So now you sit for the task. Now you sit and then you begin. So before beginning, you know what are the things that you need to do, right? Your environment and your food has to be taken care of. Of course, the one thing that I didn't mention is like you need to get a good amount of sleep. That will come in environment. But yeah. So now you sit and you start working. When you start working, immediately, as in like right from the time that you start working up to 10 to 15 minutes, you will be on the surface. That work, whatever you're starting off, it's just shallow work. And then once that 15 minutes, 20 minutes mark hits, and then you will get into the alpha state. That's called the flow state. So when you get in the flow state, this is a natural high. There is a lot of serotonin in your mind. You feel happy because when you're doing things, you're in your natural happy state. Your brain waves will come slower, like it'll go slower, and you are in a flow state. You don't feel like tired. You sometimes your brain hurts, especially when you're learning a lot, but you need to keep pushing it. You got to keep pushing it. And it hurts sometimes. It hurts more. Focus is like crazy focus. And you feel like you're getting lost. Like you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Like every time when you get into the one task, like today, maybe your pain threshold is like 30 minutes. Tomorrow you go to 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, right? So the pain threshold keeps going more and more. And not the pain tolerance that keeps going more and more and more. And this alpha state, that intensity will keep going so hard that yes, your brain hurts, but that's a good hurt. Because first off, you're completing a task. Second off, you're having so much of new neural connections in your mind, your brain. And then you are in the deep work. You are in that one particular task. You're not moving anything. You're not moving your body. You're not correcting anything. You're not in pain, because if you sit in a stool for a long time, you're going to have the pain. And you got to, as we spoke about your ergonomics, your environment, about food. So there's nothing to take you away from your spot. Okay. There's nothing. There's no phones. There's no notifications. There's no nothing. You're there and you're just there so deep, right? So when your brain hurts, when you keep going, without getting up, when you keep pushing it, imagine this just like the working out in the gym, right? You keep working out, but eventually you will build up that pain tolerance, and it becomes a part of you. It becomes a second nature, just the way it is. So once you cross that pain tolerance, I'll tell you, the other side, it's so beautiful. Like it's just so calm, it's just so quiet, and you're just so lost in that particular spot. I want to tell you, it might sound like a bold statement, but you feel the time doesn't exist. You really feel the time doesn't just exist. And you just don't exist. Just the movement. And the movement is coming in consciousness because there's a light. And that's it. That's how deep it is. I don't know how many of you were able to resonate with that part, what I just mentioned, but so that's how deep it is. So if you take some of the high achievers in the world, if you take some of the people, some people who have really gone to the next level, who have really achieved some breathtaking things, some monumental things, they have gone to this state. They have completely focused all their energy into one thing. And this is, I hate to break it to you, but this is the only way for you to get there. So be it like, I don't know, whatever you're pursuing your passion, you're into stock market, you're at your work, you're at the corporate, you're building a skill, you want to learn something, no matter what, deep work will get you faster. And there's a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. I think you should read that. So when you get into this, so you're just working on one single thing. That means in your brain, you're just going into that one section, like one part of that brain in that whatever the area that you're working, you're going deeper into it. You're going deeper into it. And the benefit of that, the first benefit is the thing that you are working, that will change you. I'm never going to be the person before I recorded this video. So this video, of course, research took years, but for me to finish off this presentation and for me to complete this, it took about 2 days. Okay. So to record this entire course with all the research, with all the presentations, with all of this, it takes about a week. So that's a lot of work. Now, the thing is, in this work, in this period, like before how I was and who I was, I'm never, ever going to be the same after this 1 week. I'm never going to be the same. When I launch this course, I'm never going to be the same person, because I'm not just, you see what I'm saying, right? I'm going through a process, catalytic process. So for you to have that monumental change, that level of intensity is required in whatever the work that you're doing. And that's where, follow your passion, fall in love with whatever you're doing. That's not bullshit. It's for real. Because see, the thing is, there's somebody who's always like, let's say that you are at your workplace and you are doing a job, and the same job, there's another person who's doing it. Okay. And if that person is like really in love with whatever he or she is doing it, and if you're not really liking what you're doing, you better find a way to fall in love with what you're doing, because that person will outwork you with an ease. Like whatever the thing that I am doing, like I can confidently say that nobody can outwork me. The way that I work is fucking insane. All right. I start by 4 o'clock, 5 in the morning, and then it goes up to 8 o'clock in the evening. Okay. And the only break that I take is for food. Even the food, I sit and I watch some educational video in front of my laptop, and that's how I eat my food. The only break that I take is for my workout. Come back again, grind, get back on the grind. So I can confidently say there's no person who's going to outwork me, and I don't feel the pain of not doing it. I don't feel the pain of me sitting over here and doing. Why? Because I'm in love with what I'm doing. And that's why I can confidently say that there's nobody who can outwork me. So whatever the thing that you're doing, if you really wanted success, you want to get your shit done. You got to get your shit done. And for you to get your shit done one after the other, after the other, after the other, you got to keep going so that you fall in love with it. You really find that passion around that, like that. Okay. So it's not really about what really interests you, playing music, singing in the shower. It's not that. Some people have really gone so big. It's not just they are passionate about the business. It's not that. It is about getting high on getting things done. Remember the E hit we spoke about, endorphins hit. Getting high on getting things done. Okay. So that's a complicated game for those who don't take action. And for those who do that, they are naturally high in their life, and nobody can stop them. Like it's pretty hard to stop people like that. Okay. So with that, we are done. Thank you so much for learning. And I want you to watch this video a couple of times for you to understand, make the necessary changes in your environment. And this 120 to 180 is just it's a variable. This can go, when you're starting off, this can go from 90, but yeah, 90 to 120 is a good starting point, non-stop. And then from here, you're going to go to 180 to 100 minutes. Like you're not going to stop. Okay. Finish this and then take a break and then do whatever you want, come back and then start again, get into the deep work. So when you do this on an everyday basis, if you can do 2 to 3 sessions per day, you will highly likely to be in top of the game. 3 sessions. That's 9 hours. Yep. That's damn good. And then when you go to sleep, you'll be like, fuck, I really did something. Today was a very fulfilling day. I made today a great day. Okay. You get that feeling. That's how it's really not about time management. Time management, like I said, it's for people who are like weak, who are trying to, get up early, who is trying to, like send an email, having that so much of effort just to send an email. Nah. This game is entirely different. Okay. So the value that I'm giving you over here, it's like it can 10x in your life, it 10x your growth in your life if you are taking action. Okay. So some people choose to watch the video and take action. Some people just choose to watch the video instead of, instead of Netflix, let me just watch this. That's a good thing, but still, that's not going to make a difference. You got to watch the video and put in the work, take the action. All right. Thank you so much for learning. I love you too. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.